So we'll start out. Are you filming me right now?
Yes.
Perfect. Taylor from Midmark. Pleasure to meet you. We'll start out. So as you can see, our VetPro 1000 is completely encapsulated. What you have with it, I think it's under 40 decibels of noise. So once we start running the high-speed handpiece, over time the compressor will kick on, and then you'll hear about the loudest that it'll get, which is about 40 decibels. So it's relatively quiet. What separates our unit from some of the other ones in the market is the oil-free compressor, which I'll show you here, the components in the back in a little bit. But that definitely, the biggest part of that is it requires less maintenance. So you don't have to change the oil on it regularly, which saves you time at the end of each day, and you get a little more longevity. I'll show you the maintenance that will be required once I go through the hand pieces and everything, but we'll start out with the high speed here. So this high speed hand piece, what you have here is it's a swivel action. So what you can do is, before we had one that was just a solid piece, so it didn't swivel at all. So when you hold it in your hand, you can make those small fine adjustments without having the cord wrapped around your arm or anything like that. So it just makes it a little more ergonomical for the doctor, whoever's doing the dentals.
And that's any high-speed handpiece you put on it. The swivel is actually in the cord.
Yeah, so as you can see here, it just slides off.
Okay.
And I'll touch on this, but that's part of some of the little bit of maintenance that you'll have to do, is just to condition these O-rings every once in a while, and then back here, this threads on, you'll want to spray a little bit into, just to make sure I got it right, I think it's into the small hole here, and that'll be conditioning the handpiece to take care of it. So that's, you just a little squirt, and it comes with like a little little red deal, so you can get a little exact spray.
That's after each dental, or?
No, that's typically at the end of the day. It really depends on how much you want, how much you're doing it, or how many demos you're doing regularly. I always tell people to do it, just do a behavioral deal and have it done at the end of each day, if you can manage to do that. But people typically do it weekly or twice a week or something like that. On the back here is where you'll have the push button to put you push the button in here, you'll put the burr in there. I'll do that here in a second, but actually I'm going to put it in right now, because typically you don't want to run your high speed without a burr inside, just because it puts more stress in the turbine. So you'll push it in here, slide it in, push the button, and then it slides in like that. And what you'll see is that on our high-speed handpiece you have fiber optics there. So it makes it very nice to be able to see where you're working. Gives you that added light.
Is that fiber optic in the handpiece, or does it come from inside the machine?
The fiber optics is in the handpiece, so it's all.
So no thing's gonna go wrong inside that.
No. It's all internal into this, and you have the turbine head in here with the fiber optics. Well, the fiber optics does come with this. Let's see if I can get it off.
Oh, so it is in the machine.
It comes part of this, but it's part of the.
Oh.
So if anything was to ever get replaced, if something did happen, it would be this little piece right here. But I haven't. The only time I've ever heard of an issue with our fiber optics is if the handpiece is violently dropped on the ground. So that's why I always recommend.
So if Dr. Johnson gets real mad one day,
I'm probably gonna get a call from you guys.
Yes.
He's got it.
I'm bugging you now. I got it.
All right.
Patient request,
So another thing to be aware of is that on each one of these hand pieces, except for their water syringe, you have a little jack here. So what that does is that once this is pulled off, this is the hand piece that's actually activated. So you can only use one hand piece at a time. So you can't have two of them off and using them. And it's basically a safety feature, essentially. So, use one of them, put them up here, and then have it fall and hit the ground. So it's just making sure you put it back on the jack firmly, put it back on there. So fiber optics. This is probably one of the better high-speed handpieces in the market, and it's very ergonomical for your dentals. We'll move on to the low-speed polisher. So how ours works is you have a reverse here and you have a forward. So you can, and now the ones we're sending out with our units now have a oscillating, so it doesn't go full circle, it just oscillates back and forth, so it saves a little bit. And what that'll do is, so you could basically, to put those on, you have a little collar here, slide that down, twist it and slide it down, and this slides off.
Does it?
This slides off, but you'll have a little groove there for your deal, and you just slide it right over the top, pull that down on there, slip the collar back on, and then you're good to go.
And then you just buy those as needed.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Or if you have other ones too that maybe you're using elsewhere on another machine, they might be interchangeable. Be able to use them on this for the time being.
Okay.
And then it's got a quick release on here, so you don't have to unscrew anything. Condition the O-ring there a little bit, and that's all you have to do for this low-speed polisher. Pretty basic. This one also has the jack. On this guy here, you got the piezo scaler. What you have here is that to get these scaler tips on, these are the tools you get with it. There's 3 of them, and so this slides over there, and it'll find a groove, and this is how you unscrew it.
Oh, cool.
Because it's threaded on there, so you'll put that on there, and as you can see, I'll show you here. The tip itself, see that little blue ring on the base of it?
Yes.
So each one of these are color coded with a blue ring, and so how that works is they're color coded. So say you have a different type of tip other than blue, you know where to put your range of your scaler.
Okay.
So it gives you that, it kind of gives you a point of reference, so you don't have to tinker with it. You can kind of work within that range, which is the recommended, the ultrasonic vibration for that size or type of tip.
So, like, what do the colors mean exactly? Like, blue is just for like your basic scaling. Or...
Yeah, blue is like the standard. I think that's all the tips. The tips that we provide with the unit are.
It's usually specialists or something like that might go beyond.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you would probably just stick with blue.
Okay.
So you wouldn't have to make many adjustments to
From
that.
what I understand when we went through training, like you won't mess with any of these knobs very much, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So another thing too, I'll show you. This one has LED on it, so you get very, very good light working in the patient's mouth, and it's more of a sweeping motion. So it's very. I mean, this is one of the better scalers in the market. So you want to make sure that it's like a very gentle, like, smooth. What do you we call it, painting the wall or something like that. So
You don't have to like hardcore scale like you used to.
no, yeah,
Okay.
it does a lot of the work for you. So
Nice.
I had a doctor that was proceeded to try to clean his fingernails with it, and I recommended him not to do that, and he proceeded to do it, and then he regretted it immediately. So this has an O-ring on there. In addition to that, you can also, this little kit up here, you have those 3 little deals that you can put in there. And this can go in here and autoclave it. You don't need to all the time. I mean, some people don't do it at all, but you have that option if you wanted to autoclave it. What else here?
Big deal, Dr. Johnson. Not coiled.
Not cold.
Not coiled.
Nope. And then here you have your air and water syringe. So, no water in the tank currently. What we have down here is your water tanks. So you have 2 different size water tanks here. They recommend that you fill it up to the Midmark label with distilled water. How that works is that the reason why we have 2 is just if you're in the middle of a dental and maybe you forgot to fill a tank and you had the other one full, you can toggle over to the other one and
I'm gonna show the toggle.
right here. And the reason why it's making that noise is because it's pressurizing because there's no water in the tank. So that's kind of how that works. So you can switch in the middle of procedure, which makes it very, very nice, just in case you run out of water. These knobs up here, these will control your water flow. So this would be where you would control your needle valve and water flow to your high-speed handpiece. And that's kind of just a preference. You know, you kind of play with it a little bit and see where you like it. And you get, you know, you can go from a real light mist to a full on, you know, flow. So I just, each time I'm not using it, I always close the valve and don't open it, and I turn it on a little bit when I'm using it. No water on this one, and then you'll have a little bit of water on this guy here that you can open the valve. And then you'll have automatic water on this one too. Let's see here, you have casters on the bottom, medical grade casters, so that you don't get hung up, and here won't stop you from. Oh, that's one thing, sorry. This foot pedal down here, this controls, it's basically, here I'll show you. So it's pressure sensitive, so how hard you push it is how fast it'll go. So this is all the way to the ground, so you can
It's like a car, acceleration.
exactly. So you get one foot pedal that operates all three of these high speed, or all three of the hand pieces. Comes with the tray. You get a little sample of the burger kit here. It comes with trophy angles, and then it comes with other scalar tips, additional ones for your option there. So back here is where your holding tank is. I'm going to shut this unit off right now. But the one maintenance you'll have to do at the end of each day is you'll have to open up this valve here, which is going to make a little noise. And what this does is that it pulls out all the air that's been condensed into the tank, and you drain that at the end of each day. So the biggest thing about that is that you want to make sure that's done every day after a dental, whenever you use the unit, just because that gets the moisture out of the system, it gets all the air out, it doesn't put any stress on any other piece of equipment. So it's just an important aspect of it, and that's open that up. Typically what I do is if you're actually running water through the system and doing a bunch of stuff, put this in like a garbage can or whatnot. And that's basically the maintenance you want to do. So open that all the way up. Once it's done, you close the valve. This thing coming out a little bit. Close it, put it back in here, and then you're pretty much ready to go for the next day. So the maintenance on it is very simple. They do recommend what you can do is run. There's instructions in here on how to do it, but they do like 1 part bleach, 9 parts, or 1 part bleach, 9 parts water.
Okay. And
they say you put in there and then you take off the hand pieces, and then you run the foot pedal, and it'll run the water through the system. And so what that'll do is it'll just kind of flush, clean the inside of the tubes out and everything like that. It's recommended to do it, you know, I would say, depends on how often you're doing it, maybe like once a week or once every couple weeks. So, and that's just for cleanliness.
Extends the life of
It does, yeah.
the machine, like it keeps the parts and the hand pieces and everything. I mean, I have people that literally don't do it,
Yeah,
and they're fine, but eventually, like, things will corrode more quickly.
yeah, I would recommend doing it every day. I know that doesn't always get done, but you know, if you're doing it weekly and you're still conditioning the hand pieces daily, I think that's that's pretty good for what, you know, what a lot of the other clinics are doing currently. So, anything coming to your mind that I maybe missed?
And if they're wanting to do that, you guys like all that stuff's still on like the YouTube on your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Right?
So with Midmark, if you're not, I don't know if you've had any issues with your lift table, but we have free tech service with our unit. So if you had this unit for 25 years and you called our Midmark company once a week, it wouldn't cost you any money. You talk to our tech service people that I work with regularly, and so there's good communication there. With any issues that come up, I get a report as far as, hey, this is what's going on with this unit, this customer called me.
Now, if we need any help with the unit, are you able to come up here and help us with it, or?
Yeah, or I could troubleshoot over the phone first, or in addition to that, we also have servicers all across the country. So you have a
Okay.
2-year warranty with this unit, and how that works is if, you know, during that 2 years, you have the unit, you called me or you called our tech service, we would send a service provider in your area out to this clinic, and they would come troubleshoot everything for you for free under warranty.
Okay.
Parts and labor. And then, yeah, after the point, you know, I gave you my contact information. I have a lot of clinics that reach out to me without my reps even knowing. So I'm
Now,
always a
after the 2
resource.
years, do you guys have like an add-on?
No, we don't.
You don't? Okay.
So,
Just in case like anything busts or something and we need help with it. Like how much would like a service fee normally cost? Like just to come out?
it really depends.
Just
Just
kinda
because
varies.
we have different servicers across the nation
Mm-hmm.
and different companies, and I think that might vary on what their hourly wage is
Okay.
and what the service parts are. You know, in some cases it's not, you know, it's not expensive, but it's, you know, if you're under warranty, that's, you know, I rarely get calls about our VetPro 1000, and if it is, it's somebody that's had it for 5-6 years already.
Okay. Another thing. How do you take off the water bottles?
They just unscrew.
Then they do unscrew.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's one thing too is.
Make sure the toggle's in the middle when you do that.
No, you don't need to do that. I just am OCD, so I gotta have it in one area or another.
The same way.
So it's just threaded on.
Okay.
And then one thing, just when you guys do put them on, you don't need to. Some people over tighten it. You don't need to do that. So you just get to that.
If those bottles go bad, can you use
What?
a 2-liter soda bottle?
I'm not sure.
I think whatever would fit the threading, but
Yeah.
you might not be able to fit like the second bottle.
Oh,
or
we're just
something.
Yeah, I mean the 2-liter ones are pretty.
And I think
big.
a 2-liter would collapse
I don't-
quite a
I
bit
don't
too.
think that would fit. I've seen it before, but I mean,
It's a higher grade plastic.
Yeah.
It won't like it stands up to the pressure that the.
They'll probably last
Exactly.
20 years.
Yeah.
anyway.
yeah, these are like, I don't. If you wanna, here, you can take a look at it, see how durable they are. I've seen them get dropped multiple times, and they're like probably a 1/4 inch thick. So
And then on the back of the machine, there's a red and a blue button. What are those for?
yeah, so those are if you had external accessories, you can connect water and air.
Okay.
So if you had another, I think it's another water syringe or another handpiece or something like that, you can run that on there.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you have that option back here. Down here you'll have your serial number information. This is just your power switch and your power plug-in. You don't need to touch these. They're like breaker deals. You don't need to deal with that.
Okay.
Um,
Right on.
So your compressor's down here. So it's enclosed down here. And then this up here is just your storage tank where the air is transferred to.
Okay.
So
That's part of it too, doesn't it come with like it comes with these instructions, like the warranty manual?
yeah, it comes with, so it has a little user information on the dental system, so you can put that in your computer, watch it. It gives you all the information that you need for servicing as far as running water, flushing the system, and conditioning the hand pieces. And then we also have, if you went on YouTube and just went to Midmark VetPro 1000, you pull up a video on how to do all the steps to clean it. So a lot of resources out there for maintenance. But like I mentioned before, the amount of time you're going to spend doing it is going to save you so much time on your daily operations. So,
And then the foot pedal just curls up on the back
Yeah,
the
you
machine?
know, I always put on there just because I travel with my units and stuff like that. So I'll wrap it around this part here. But if you're gonna have it stationary in one spot, not really move it around, you can just stick it underneath the casters or whatever's convenient.
Okay.
So, and then it comes with this is the handpiece conditioner and cleaner. So this will come with the unit along with the tray and all this other stuff up here.
You get burrs.
You get a little sample burr kit. I think there's, you know, there's diamond burrs in here. I think there's 3 or 4 diamond burrs, and then
Anything you get in there, you can get like Henry Schein label ones that
Correct.
are extremely inexpensive, like
Okay.
less than $1 a burr.
yeah, and that's what usually
Wow.
people will use ours for a little while, and then they'll
Because technically you're only supposed to use a burr like once.
Yeah,
Technically, and
Once.
then a lot of folks maybe go more to twice is really
Yeah.
actually too many, technically. So ours are dirt cheap. You can buy like a 20 pack for I think it's like 15 or 18 bucks
Yeah.
or something.
That's
like
not
that.
bad at all.
it's worth the investment, and I'm going to tell you a little bit why is because the high-speed handpiece, you know, I think on the human side, doctors will literally use one and put the new one on like the next day, so they're not using them continuous like you guys are. So that's why I would say if you want the longest life possible out of your handpiece without having to replace it, try to replace your burrs as often as possible, because what happens is when you're, you know, say the burr starts to wear down and becomes dull and you're putting a lot more pressure on it to do the cutting
You're gonna
or
mess up your
sectioning or anything
handpiece.
like that, it's going to put more stress on the turbine inside the head here, and then eventually, you know, you're putting so much weight and leverage on it, it's going to, you know, eventually wear on the handpiece and it's going to cause issues. So
And if you have a fresh burr with that speed of a handpiece,
Yeah.
like it cuts through.
it's going to be like cutting butter.
Yeah, it's.
Really?
Yeah.
Only use them once.
They use a handpiece, like they'll take this entire handpiece
Oh.
and throw it away after one use.
Yeah, but they buy 20 of those Chinese handpieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 But they buy this machine.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they use a Midmark machine.
Yeah, because we have a human and a animal health division, so or dental, human dental or human medical and then animal health.
They replace the handpiece every time.
Yeah.
They're not as expensive as you think, but
Well,
certainly not
I
viable.
got a
business.
fiber optic high speed one from China for $18.
Yeah. Well, you got to think too is like
Maybe it was $3 shipping.
on the human side, you're working on a person.
Yeah.
If you got a real dull burr and he's in there just trying to section your tooth off or
Yeah.
doing something with it, he might be a little more vocal about what's
Yeah.
going on.
Might not be as anesthetized.
Yeah.
Would it be a good idea, Susan, maybe rolled in surgery and kind of see what it looks like?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Want that?
We can unplug it. Maybe it'll get plugged in.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And we're off. We going right?
To the right, then to the left. Ours is right over there. Okay, it's pretty comparable.
Yeah, it's
Actually, it looks
A little-
smaller, you know what you think?
It's probably about. I would say it's almost the same, just taller. I mean, it's probably a little bigger.
You gotta take a
Probably
picture
come
of
out- It might come out from the wall, maybe another 3 or 4 inches at best. The only trouble is, it might fit underneath those trach tubes.
But it won't look all cruddy like that does, will it?
That's his big thing. Is he's not a fan of
No, that's
like
I
that
like the
open.
enclosed on this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, that should fit.
fit underneath those trach
Yeah.
tubes.
Yeah.
That'll be
Nice.
fine. Actually, even if you
Oh yeah, it'll fit.
it'll fit.
Yeah, there's probably about 2 inches space.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That's even better. And then you wouldn't have this. You wouldn't have this extra water that he's got hooked up over here, so that's space that's being used up. So
Okay, I will
would-
send this to him.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't guess that it would be all that different at all. It'd probably free up space, really.
Yeah,
Just
it
because
would.
wouldn't be-
Yeah, you know, I mean, there's a lot more going on over here.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's busier
Yeah.
than the Midmark.